Hey, Washington football fans, welcome back. So, trust in Ron. That's the motto, right? We're all supposed to believe in Ron and Ron's plan. Well, since the draft, he said a couple things that give me even more faith in him. I love his decision so far. I was a little worried last year, especially with like Ryan Anderson. I thought Ryan Anderson could have been tried out at Sam, but Ron knows linebackers. Who am I? I'm just some idiot somewhere with a microphone. He's the guy who knows linebackers. But he said things after the draft that have really made me feel good about his decision making. First, he talked about the possibility of trading up for a quarterback, and he said they had to weigh the compensation, what they were giving away, and they didn't want it to get to a point where they were handicapping themselves at another position. And I fully agree. That's the smartest way to build a team. That's perfect. Can't get better than that. Now, this morning, you can't get better than that, because if we do the other thing, then we end up with a situation like we did with RG3, where we got one good season, the guy gets hurt, we don't have a first-round draft pick for the next 3 years, then we draft cornerback that I can't even remember instead of the Honey Badger, which was a idiotic move. But we end up in a situation like that. We don't want to be there again. Fool me once, you know how the saying goes. So this morning, Ron was on PFF. He was on Cris Collinsworth's podcast, and he said some things I like again. Cris Collinsworth asked why he didn't move up for quarterback, how he felt about the quarterback position. And Ron said something I fully agree with, something I've been telling people for a long time, been typing away in all the Washington football fans, different people's comment sections. You only got a couple guys out there that are winning multiple Super Bowls. You got your Tom Brady's, you got Peyton Manning, you had Eli. He didn't mention him, but you had Big Ben also. But everybody else, you got a bunch of one-time winners out there. Like, even with as great as they are, you got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. These guys only got one win. The majority of other guys are guys that can manage the game, not make mistakes, and make big plays when they need to. You don't need to be great all the time. You don't need to be the greatest of all time. You just got to get the job done. He said, now, if you get a chance to get somebody like that, sure, you grab them and you ride with them. But the other formula, the more accessible formula for most, is going to be build a solid team and get that guy to manage the game and win. Ron also threw out there that Dan Snyder is misunderstood. He thinks that all the hate, Dan Snyder's just a misunderstood guy. I also fully agree with that. I love the fact that the man is a super fan that actually got to buy the team he loves. He wasn't just buying the team as a fun toy like the Seattle Seahawks billionaire guy or Amar Khan. He's not just a super rich guy looking for a toy. This was a guy that made all his money, and then when his favorite childhood team came open, he had to have it. He went out there and wheeled and dealed and did everything he could, and now he's finally full owner. And to that, he's finally learned all the lessons about staying out, so I'm fine with him too. But back to the topic of quarterback. he brought up Eli, went into Super Bowls. Like, how good was Eli? Is Eli... Now, these aren't Ron's words, but he did mention Eli when he says you could throw him in the list of guys that won too. Because he did. But was Eli a great quarterback? I don't think Eli was a great quarterback. He was exactly what Ron's talking about. You got a good team around him. He's a guy that can not fuck things up long enough, make good plays when he needs to, and win games that way. You got a strong team. He had a hell of a defense carrying him. That's what we got set up here in Washington. Can Fitzmagic be our Eli? I already made a video about Fitzmagic being like Brad Johnson with the 0-2 Buccaneers. If people don't want to concede that we're as legendarily great as the Buccaneers were then, what about the 08 Giants or the 2011 Giants? Are we that great? I think we are. Easily. So, can Fitzmagic be Eli Manning? Eli Manning was a first rounder. He had all that hype, but did Eli ever play like that? Not really. The years Eli won the Super Bowl, he had a 66.9 passer rating. That's okay. Pretty good. He had a 66.4 or a 64.2 the next time he won. Not great Super Bowl champion caliber numbers, I don't think. In the last 2 years, in less than favorable situations, Fitzmagic has had a 68.3 and a 76.9. Given they weren't whole seasons, but it was a 13 game, over a 13 game period, and over a 7th game period. Those are pretty good stretches for him to keep up that quarterback rating. And if you just look at him as a player, Fitzmagic has aged like wine. He's just gotten better every year. Now we have him in a situation where all the weapons that are here are pretty much tailor-made to make anybody good, especially a guy like him that likes to push the ball down the field. Everything here is set up great for him. The offensive line looks to be really shaping up when you think about getting Sadiq Charles back, who was PFF's 39th ranked guy that we stole in the 4th round last year in the draft. When you got Sam Cosmi, who I thought was a first round player. We get Eric Flowers back. And our center is Chase Roullier is top 3 in the league, in my opinion. He's sorely underrated. So you put that in front of Fitzmagic, then you give him all these weapons. You give him Terry McLaurin, you give him Curtis Samuels, you bring his buddy Adam Humphries along for the ride. You got Terry 2.0 and De'Ami Brown. You got Dax Milne, who could be like a Jordy Nelson or at least Brian Hartline. You bring all these weapons around when you got Antonio Gibson doing things out of the backfield, doing crazy, J.D. McKissick doing crazy stuff out of the backfield, Jared Patterson. Like, this team is built for Ron's philosophy of be great everywhere else except quarterback. And then any schmuck can come in and win with this team. And when we do get the opportunity to finally have a quarterback that's great, we're going to blow up. Going to be like how Russell Wilson, what he came into. Except we need to be a little smarter about how we did that. They didn't get the success they should have. They definitely should have at least 2 Super Bowl rings. But that's a matter of coaching and play calling. So yeah, let me know what you think. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Ron's coaching philosophy, or his quarterback philosophy that he shared this morning. And if you like the video, uh, comment down below, and share and subscribe. I love you guys. Peace.